The luxury terminal smelled of polished leather and quiet superiority, where suits gleamed and diamonds sparkled under soft lights like stars chosen to shine only on those deemed worthy. In the middle of this curated elegance stood Ethan Cole, not in designer, not in silk, but in a simple navy shirt, dark jeans, and a carry-on bag that looked too light for someone who was supposed to belong here. People noticed him the way they notice a stain on a white tablecloth, silently, with side eyes sharp enough to slice dignity. Ethan had checked in hours early, cleared security, and waited patiently for boarding on Sky Vista Air's premium international flight. No announcements, no issues. Until a late-arriving VIP family, 3 people dressed like royalty and moving like they owned oxygen, approached the counter. The woman snapped, "We need 3 first-class seats together, now." The clerk looked panicked. First class was full, every seat taken. And Ethan, as fate twisted cruelly, was the only solo passenger. The supervisor came over, eyes scanning the list. They didn't look for solutions, they looked for sacrifice. Ethan was the easiest target. He stood when called, polite as always, unaware the knife was already angled toward his back. "Sir," the supervisor said with a tone dipped in fake respect, "we need your seat for priority passengers. You'll have to move to economy." Ethan blinked, stunned. "I paid for first class," he replied calmly. "I booked months ago." The VIP husband laughed, amused. "Money doesn't guarantee priority. Status does." Murmurs stirred like wind through brittle leaves. Ethan wasn't loud, wasn't aggressive. He asked simply, "Why me?" The answer was wrapped in silence, heavier than any justification. No explanation, just assumption. They believed he was less. So security was called, publicly, humiliatingly, as though he were a threat rather than a paying traveler. Cameras rose, whispers bloomed. The supervisor spoke louder now, as if volume could mask injustice. "Sir, you are refusing compliance. You're being removed." Ethan stared at the boarding pass he'd paid for with years of work, missed holidays, sleepless nights building something great, something they didn't even know existed. He stepped aside, calm but burning inside, escorted like a criminal as VIP laughter followed. Passengers watched, some pitying, some entertained, and Ethan took every step with a quiet dignity they mistook for weakness. He didn't fight, he didn't argue, he didn't need to, because they had no idea who they'd just kicked off the plane. He wasn't just a passenger. He wasn't just a man. He was the CEO and owner of Sky Vista Airways. Ethan walked not away, but toward the glass wall overlooking the runway, hands steady, expression unreadable. The crew breathed relief, believing the inconvenience was handled. But moments later, the airport director received a phone call that turned the ground beneath Sky Vista into trembling earth. "Effective immediately," Ethan's voice said through the speaker, calm as a blade. "All crew members on flight VX402 are suspended pending investigation." At first, laughter erupted. They thought it was a prank, until the director froze, eyes wide, and whispered to staff like someone reporting a ghost sighting. "That is Ethan Cole." The same man they dragged away like clutter held more power than every badge and uniform in that building combined. Panic rippled like wildfire. Flight attendants stared at each other, pale. The pilot stepped out of the cockpit, confused and sweating. We didn't know," someone stammered. Ignorance didn't excuse cruelty. Ethan approached the gate again, every step slow, deliberate. No arrogance, no fury, just truth. "You removed me for wealthier passengers," he said softly, "without asking who I was, without respecting what I paid, without humanity. The VIP family tried to defend themselves. Too late. The mother whispered frantically, We didn't know." Ethan met her eyes with calm steel. "And if I wasn't the CEO, would you have cared?" Silence was the answer. Security stepped aside, ashamed. The supervisor who ordered him off trembled, voice cracking. "Sir, Mr. Cole, we're so deeply sorry. The cabin crew is ready to—" Ethan raised his hand, calm again, deadly quiet. "I didn't come here for apologies. I came to see how my airline treats people when they believe no one important is watching." Gasps echoed. Crew looked ready to collapse. Ethan scanned the room slowly, letting discomfort marinate. "From this moment," he announced, "the crew assigned to this flight will step aside. A new team will board, and this airline will never again remove a passenger based on who appears valuable." The airport director nodded rapidly, issuing orders like a man avoiding lightning. The original crew left in humiliation, some crying, some furious, all shaken by the moment they realized power doesn't always wear a luxury watch. Passengers watched, stunned by reversal. The man they mocked now commanded their fate with a whisper. Ethan didn't roar, he didn't destroy, he corrected. And sometimes correction feels like thunder. Minutes later, a new crew arrived, nervous but humbled. Ethan reboarded first class, not as CEO flaunting authority, but as a man reminding the world what respect looks like. When he sat down, the seat attendants bowed their heads slightly, not out of fear but awakening. Across the aisle sat the VIP husband, face drained of color. He whispered, "We didn't mean," but words failed. Ethan turned, steady, unshaken. "Kindness is not owed to wealth," he replied. "It is owed to humanity." The aircraft pushed back from the gate, passengers silent, as though traveling inside a lesson rather than a cabin. In the hum of engines, a young attendant approached Ethan, eyes glossy with guilt. "I judged you," she admitted. "I'm sorry." Ethan nodded gently. "Then carry that lesson forward. Let someone walk easier because you learned." She exhaled in relief, the kind that births growth. When the wheels lifted from the runway, Ethan looked down at a world small beneath clouds, reminding him how small power truly is when misused. Hours later, as the plane landed, reporters swarmed, cameras flashed, and news spread like fire. CEO kicked out for another passenger, crew suspended mid-flight. But when Ethan spoke publicly, he didn't brag or punish. He announced reforms, equality-first boarding, discrimination protocols, passenger priority rights. Not revenge, redesign. Because change lasts longer than anger. And there, in a terminal that once treated him lesser, employees stood straighter, passengers clapped, strangers smiled with new understanding. Ethan walked through the airport the same way he entered it, quiet, calm, except this time the world saw him clearly. They had judged him by clothing, not character. But character rose, and in the end, the plane flew not just through clouds, but through correction. Respect reigned, dignity returned, and no one ever forgot the day the CEO they threw out became the leader they wished they had recognized sooner. If this story made your chest tighten, if it opened your eyes or stirred your sense of justice, don't leave without letting your voice live here. Comment below. What hit you hardest? Was it the moment Ethan was removed? The moment truth flipped the room? Or the way he chose reform over revenge? Your words matter. Your reaction matters. Share this video so more people learn why we must never assume someone's worth through clothing or class. Let this story travel further than that aircraft, into conversations, into workplaces, into hearts. And if you want more stories that shake systems and expose truth with emotion, suspense, and fire, subscribe. Because here, we don't just tell stories, we reveal society, we challenge assumptions, we hold a mirror to the world until it sees itself clearly. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, not for numbers, but for impact. Let respect become louder than status. Let kindness outweigh privilege, and let stories like this one remind us that the person we overlook may be the one person we needed to respect all along.